short video, we will discuss model risk. We will first describe a model and then go on to discuss how models generate risk within the financial markets. We will describe the process in which financial quantitative analysts build, document, and then validate a model, and then go on to discuss how model risk can be mitigated. A model is a systematic group of assumptions that value a specific financial instrument or portfolio of instruments. Large financial institutions, along with hedge funds, routinely use models for a broad range of activities, including underwriting credit, valuation of exposures, financial instruments, measuring risk, and in determining capital and reserve requirements. Recent changes in regulations, particularly the new regulatory capital rules based on the framework developed by the Basel Committee, have spurred some of the recent developments in model generation. Models can improve business decisions, but they can also impose costs, including the potential for adverse consequences from decisions based on models, the potential for a bad trade, or the mismanagement of risk and P&L can generate model risk. Model risk should be managed like other types of risks. Funds and financial institutions should identify the source of that risk, assess its magnitude, and establish a framework for managing the risk. The extent and nature of the risk varies across models and the companies that employ those models. Model risk management should include a disciplined approach to development and implementation processes that are consistent with the context and goals of model use and the company's policies. Assessing the assumptions is one of the first steps in assessing model risk. Financial institutions should objectively assess model risk using sound model validation processes, including the evaluation of conceptual soundness, ongoing monitoring of the model, and the outcomes of the analysis. Model usage provides opportunities to test whether a model is functioning effectively and assessing its performance over time. A central principle for managing model risk is the need for constant evaluation of those models. Critical analysis by objective examiners can identify model limitations and assumptions and produce the appropriate changes. Effective challenge depends on the combination of incentives, competence, and influence within the group that are using and evaluating those models. Model risk can be diminished but not eliminated, so other tools should be used to manage model risk effectively. Among these are establishing limits on the model use, monitoring model performance, and supplementing model results with another analysis or information. Although model risk management has made significant inroads into risk management functions, there have been and still are significant challenges in building a truly effective model risk management program. The responsibility for model validation should be formal and defined. In addition, policies should specify that before a model can enter production, it needs to be validated. The first process is an independent model validation unit or external reviewer who must document the model validation tests and the reasons for concluding that the model is valid. The second is an internal unit group must verify that no models enter a production environment without formal approval by a validation unit. The policy should require documentation for specific models that is adequate to facilitate an independent review, the training of staff, and clear thinking by model developers. The most rigorous policies require documentation that is sufficiently detailed to allow the precise replication of a model being described. In best practices for validation policies, models require that all changes in the process be documented and submitted for independent review. A useful practice is to allow model changes only periodically and only after independent review and approval by the appropriate level. It would be unwise to allow constant model change, specifically by portfolio managers who could change their risk profile as well as their P&L based on changes within a model. The form of policy should clearly specify that an internal audit group is responsible for ensuring that the model validation process adheres to a formal policy. A hedge fund can also use outside validation companies to validate their model and their model practice. A model at many times takes the place of a liquid market, given that there is no bid or offer for specific derivative products. With this in mind, the mark-to-model values given to a specific product need rigorous attention, as they can change the underlying values of many positions. As witnessed during the financial crisis, a combination of many model-driven products create a market where a vacuum can occur, which could lead to the interruption of credit which occurred and nearly a depression. Valuation of models is a very important risk, and those who use models to value and use for risk management should have a clearly defined process when using models within their environment.